You are not merely a visitor in this universe. You are the universe itself, manifesting in human form. Within you pulses the rhythm of life, a divine vibration resonating beyond all earthly boundaries. You've searched tirelessly outside yourself, looking toward distant horizons, temples, books, and wise voices for that elusive presence we name God. Yet, my dear friend, the divine does not reside in a distant place, nor in the abstract heavens of our imagination. God dwells in the very core of your being, whispering softly within every breath you take, vibrating in perfect harmony within your heartbeats, and singing silently through your spirit. Close your eyes and sense that vibrant presence. You don't have to travel far and wide or climb great mountains to encounter this truth. The sacred vibration you seek flows quietly within the rivers of your soul. God is not hidden nor absent. God is present in every thought, every emotion, every heartbeat. This eternal vibration, ever present and everlasting, is your true nature. When you realize this, you step into your authentic identity. Your fears melt into understanding, and your doubts dissolve into faith. Each breath you take whispers divine mysteries. Each heartbeat is a rhythmic prayer of gratitude. We have been conditioned to seek the divine in constructed places, carved from stone and painted with reverence, but the genuine temple is your own inner silence, your sacred inner stillness. God is the subtle essence that weaves together the tapestry of existence, vibrating delicately in the quiet spaces between thoughts, beyond ego, beyond fear, beyond the illusions of separation and duality. Think of yourself as a magnificent harp designed and tuned by a master craftsman. Your life experiences pluck your strings, each situation vibrating differently, creating melodies of joy or sorrow, peace or turmoil. But beneath all these varied notes, there resonates one constant, serene vibration, a pure, unchanging tone, calm and eternally steady. That tone is God's whisper within you, inviting you to return home to your truest self. To connect with this divine vibration is to rediscover the forgotten symphony within. It is to silence the cacophony of external distractions and journey inward where the infinite music plays gently. It means surrendering your ego, letting go of the incessant need to control, judge, and label. Ego demands that divinity appear in visible signs, grand gestures, spectacular wonders. But God's vibration requires no fanfare, no applause, no acknowledgement from external sources. Its existence does not rely on belief. It simply is eternal, unbounded, complete within itself. Feel within you now that subtle but profound vibration. Know that you are inseparable from it. Even when the world feels overwhelming, even when challenges pile high, even when darkness seems deep, remember that within you lies an endless ocean of light and divine harmony. Your inner landscape, this infinite realm within, is the dwelling place of divine vibration. God dances there, tirelessly and joyously, reminding you with each pulse, you are whole, you are enough, you are divine. Many live in perpetual searching, desperate for something external to fill their emptiness, chasing illusions of perfection. Yet no matter how fervently they seek, fulfillment eludes them, because the journey to fulfillment begins and ends within. Your life transforms profoundly when you cease looking outward for validation or fulfillment, and instead recognize the infinite wholeness already vibrating in the sacred silence of your being. Let this vibration permeate your consciousness. Let it elevate your every moment. When you sense fear rising, pause and breathe. Tune yourself inward and reconnect to the vibration of divine stillness. When judgment and resentment cloud your heart, soften into compassion and allow the gentle hum of divine wisdom to guide you. When doubt whispers into your ear, quiet your mind and hear instead the eternal truth reverberating softly, patiently within. You are never separate. You are eternally connected to the universal intelligence that gave birth to galaxies, sunsets, mountain peaks, and the laughter of children. This vibrational intelligence is your true essence. When you embody this understanding, you live differently. Your footsteps become lighter, your smile warmer, your presence gentler, because you now perceive everyone and everything as interconnected vibrations of one divine melody. Each encounter, each experience, every relationship you nurture becomes an opportunity to amplify love, compassion, and kindness, the purest vibrations of the divine within you. It is easy to become entangled in the superficial, to forget our divine nature amidst the noise and confusion of daily life. Yet in moments of profound clarity, perhaps beneath a vast starlit sky or beside the whispering sea, you have felt the stirring of an ancient knowingness, an intuition older than words. This feeling, this subtle awakening, is the vibration of God gently nudging you, calling you to recognize your infinite nature. Life is not meant to be a struggle against circumstances or a ceaseless battle with the world. Instead, it is meant to be a harmonious dance, attuned to the divine frequency within. Release the tight grip of control. Surrender gracefully to the wisdom of this sacred vibration and watch as life transforms around you. What seemed impossible becomes effortless. What seemed broken begins to heal. Harmony emerges naturally, not by effort, but by your alignment with your inner divine vibration. Understand, dear friend, that God does not require grandiosity. God seeks only authenticity, openness, and willingness from you. Allow yourself to become a clear vessel through which divine vibrations flow effortlessly. In doing so, you become a beacon of love, peace, and grace, not by force or striving, but by the natural law of resonance. As you vibrate inwardly at the frequency of love, everything around you responds. The external world reflects your inner divine harmony. You no longer need to seek validation from outside yourself because you now know deeply, absolutely, that you already embody the divine. Each moment becomes a sacred opportunity to witness this inner truth, to deepen your connection to this eternal vibration. Embrace silence often, retreat regularly into the stillness within. Through meditation, contemplation, and genuine inner quietude, you tune yourself more clearly to the divine vibration. You amplify it, nurture it, and allow it to guide you toward deeper wisdom and compassion. Know this truth intimately. God is not located in temples or churches, nor hidden in ancient scriptures alone. God is a living vibration within every fiber of your being, within every cell, every thought, every dream you dare to imagine. God breathes through your joy, your courage, your passion, your creativity. God weeps through your pain, comforts you through your sadness, encourages you through your fears. Each sensation, each emotion, each experience is an invitation to deepen your awareness of this eternal presence. Let your life be a celebration of this profound truth. You are not separate from divinity. You are divinity expressing uniquely through you. The eternal dance of life, the sacred music of existence, moves through your heart, animates your spirit, and infuses your soul with purpose. Your highest calling is simply to recognize and embody this truth fully, joyously, and fearlessly. Remember always that you are an instrument of the infinite, tuned to the frequency of universal love. Let your life resonate clearly and powerfully, becoming a vibrant echo of divine compassion, forgiveness, and understanding. For in the truth of your being lies all that you have ever sought, all that you have ever desired, all that you ever need to know. God is not somewhere else. God is here, now, vibrating profoundly and beautifully within you. Welcome home to yourself. Welcome to the realization that you and the divine vibration are forever one. This sacred truth that now pulses within your awareness is not new. It is ancient beyond measure, older than mountains, wiser than seas. It echoes from timelessness itself, waiting patiently for you to awaken to its gentle voice, to hear clearly its soothing melody. The divine frequency has always been humming softly, quietly, lovingly beneath the surface of your busy life. And yet, only now in this moment of surrender can you truly recognize its profound beauty, its absolute completeness, and your inseparable oneness with it. Feel your heart expand now, blossoming like a lotus unfolding beneath the morning sun, opening petal by petal, gently surrendering into the warmth of a greater understanding. Your very existence, your breathing, thinking, feeling is a divine miracle, orchestrated by a universal intelligence whose nature is love, whose language is compassion. Recognize this inner music. Allow it to reverberate through your entire being, dissolving barriers erected by fear, anxiety, and doubt. For too long, you have searched outwardly, chasing validation, approval, success to justify your existence, to prove your worthiness. But the divine vibration within whispers softly, yet firmly, you were born worthy. You have always been enough. Your worth is not conditional. It does not fluctuate with your accomplishments or diminish with your failures. It is constant, steady, and unshakable, held firmly in place by the universal truth vibrating within every atom of your body. Your ego, the voice that demands proof, that clamors for recognition, will try to drown out this deeper vibration. The ego seeks complexity, seeks drama, seeks division and superiority. Yet beneath ego's turbulent waves exists an ocean of serene vibration, stillness, and wholeness. To align with this truth means to gently release the illusions the ego spins, and instead find your peace in the quiet simplicity of your divine essence. When you live from this sacred frequency, the entire universe conspires to support your path. Challenges lose their sting and become opportunities for profound growth. Painful experiences no longer feel like punishment, but rather invitations to greater compassion, deeper understanding, and profound forgiveness. When you vibrate at this level of deep love, resentment cannot cling, judgment finds no foothold, fear loses its grip. Instead, clarity and peace wash gently through your consciousness, cleansing and renewing you from the inside out. Imagine yourself as a lighthouse, radiating this divine vibration. Your purpose is not to chase ships or convince sailors of your worth, but simply to shine steadily and courageously, unwavering in your illumination. Your mere presence becomes a gift, a beacon, guiding others back to their own divine vibration within. Your very being, vibrating at the frequency of infinite love and acceptance, silently invites others to discover their inner divinity. Understand deeply, my friend, that spiritual awakening is not about attaining anything external. Rather, it is about stripping away the layers of illusion that obscure your inner truth. It is a return journey, a sacred pilgrimage back to your heart, back to the divine frequency that has always existed quietly within. In truth, you never left your divine home. You simply lost sight of it behind a veil of worldly distractions and ego-driven pursuits. Now in this moment, the veil lifts gently, revealing the boundless beauty and sacredness of your inner landscape. Each moment becomes sacred when viewed through the lens of divine vibration. Washing dishes becomes meditation. Walking barefoot on grass becomes prayer. A gentle conversation transforms into a holy communion, and the simple act of breathing turns into a joyous celebration of life itself. The ordinary dissolves into extraordinary because you now perceive through eyes of love, with a heart attuned to the universal rhythm of compassion and connection. Allow your inner world to reflect this clarity, to radiate this unconditional love. Release any remaining beliefs of unworthiness or inadequacy. They are not yours to carry. They never were. Instead, embrace fully the truth that you are a divine emanation, a sacred expression of the universal creative force. When you truly internalize this, every word you speak, every action you take, every thought you entertain vibrates with authenticity, kindness, and healing power. You become a bridge, connecting the seen and unseen worlds. You awaken to your role as a conduit for divine energy. You need not wait for a special sign or extraordinary revelation, for your very existence is the miracle you seek. Each heartbeat resonates with divine confirmation. Each breath affirms your profound belonging in the tapestry of life. You are woven intricately and perfectly into the universal fabric, your life purposely stitched by threads of grace and meaning. My dear soul, as you awaken more deeply to this realization, your heart naturally opens wider, your compassion deepens, and your capacity for joy expands immeasurably. Gratitude fills your being effortlessly because you now recognize life as the generous, boundless gift, a truly island. You no longer dwell in limitation or scarcity, but vibrate with abundance, generosity, and unconditional love. In this vibration, forgiveness comes naturally, flowing like a gentle river, washing away pain and hurt. Forgiveness no longer requires effort because you recognize that everyone, regardless of their actions, is also a divine vibration, though perhaps unaware or disconnected from their inner truth. You release them in yourself from the bondage of resentment, allowing freedom to blossom fully within your heart. From this place of deep inner resonance, healing occurs spontaneously and beautifully. Wounds of the past no longer define or confine you. You perceive yourself and others clearly, without judgment, seeing beneath outward behavior into the heart of divine truth within. Healing thus is not about changing others or altering circumstances. It is simply a gentle return to the vibration of love and wholeness at your very core. And in that profound reconnection, you rediscover the most beautiful truth of all. God does not reside elsewhere, but sings gently within every heartbeat, dances joyously within every breath, and shines brilliantly within every moment of your existence. This divine vibration is your home, your essence, your eternal truth. So rest now in that sacred knowing. Allow yourself to resonate gently, purely, and continuously with this universal frequency. Live from this place of deep inner connection. Share it freely, and watch your life unfold into a magnificent symphony of grace, beauty, and fulfillment. Remember always, dear friend, God is not in a place. God is forever and eternally a vibration within you. Deep within the sacred chamber of your soul, you carry a melody older than time itself, a song composed by the infinite intelligence of the cosmos, orchestrated by a loving and purposeful universe. It is here, within your innermost silence, that the grandest revelations arise, softly illuminating your consciousness with timeless wisdom. In the world of form and illusion, you have long been taught to anchor your faith in external circumstances, to measure your worth by the fleeting nature of appearances, achievements, possessions, and approval. But the wisdom of your innermost being knows differently. It knows that all externalities are transient ripples upon the vast ocean of infinite consciousness. They appear, sparkle brightly for a moment, and then quietly dissolve back into the eternal stillness from which they came. And yet the inner vibration, that constant, ever-present pulse of divine knowing, remains steadfast and unwavering, untouched by the passing tides of circumstance. It whispers gently yet persistently that your ultimate reality is not defined by what happens to you, but rather by what vibrates through you. When you embody this knowing, you relinquish the illusion of control and instead embrace the profound beauty and power found in trust. Trust that the divine intelligence, coursing through galaxies and animating life itself, also guides your every step, fills every breath, and shapes every experience. Each moment becomes a gentle reminder of this universal guidance, an affirmation that all is unfolding exactly as it must. Now sense deeply into the sacred truth that the universe speaks through your intuition, guiding you softly and lovingly toward your highest good. This intuitive guidance, subtle yet clear, gentle yet powerful, is your soul whispering directly to you, encouraging you to step boldly into the vast expanses of inner freedom. Your intuition knows no bounds, for it resonates with the wisdom of infinity itself, bridging the finite and infinite, merging your human journey with divine purpose. There is profound liberation in aligning with this inner wisdom. You become free from the relentless grip of worry and anxiety. You release the exhausting pursuit of outcomes, allowing instead for life to flow effortlessly through your receptive heart. You begin to see miracles everywhere as your consciousness elevates from the limited view of egoic perception to the expansive perspective of spiritual awakening. Each day becomes a sacred offering, a quiet surrender to the divine symphony playing gently within. You understand that your true spiritual growth does not arise from struggle, but from surrender, not from battle, but from harmony, not from insistence, but from acceptance. It is in surrendering to the flow of divine energy that you come to know peace, profound joy, and authentic power. And in this place of radiant surrender, you become a healing presence upon this earth. Not by effort or strategy, but by resonance, by vibrating at such a level of divine compassion and unconditional love that you naturally elevate all who cross your path. Your mere presence, now awakened and attuned, inspires others to remember their own inner sacredness, to reconnect with the divine vibration within themselves. Let your heart overflow with gratitude, for in gratitude you find the clearest pathway back to the divine. Gratitude is the language of the universe, the gentle acknowledgement of the sacredness in every moment, every encounter, every breath. The simple act of appreciation raises your vibration instantly, aligning you harmoniously with divine grace, abundance, and effortless joy. In gratitude, you shift from seeing life as a struggle to experiencing life as a divine dance. Challenges become teachers, disappointments transform into wisdom, and pain becomes the sacred gateway into profound compassion and empathy. Life no longer happens to you, but through you, flowing effortlessly as divine energy moves gracefully through your being. Consider for a moment the infinite nature of the universe, limitless, expansive, ever-creating. Realize now that this same limitless potential pulses within your own being. You carry within you the seed of infinite possibility, waiting only for your recognition, your nurturing, your loving attention to blossom fully into reality. You have been gifted the profound creative power of consciousness. Your thoughts, aligned with divine vibration, become instruments of healing and transformation. With conscious awareness, you sculpt your reality, crafting a life that resonates harmoniously with your soul's highest purpose. You realize deeply that every thought you hold is a seed, every feeling a nourishment, every action a sacred prayer expressed into form. Embrace the understanding that your life is your masterpiece, a beautiful canvas waiting to be painted by the colors of your divine essence. Release judgment, criticism, and limitation, and instead fill your palette with colors of love, compassion, creativity, kindness, and joy. Let your every stroke radiate the gentle, powerful vibration of universal harmony. Now see yourself clearly as an emissary of divine love, sent forth into the world not to conquer, control, or dominate, but simply to love, inspire, uplift, and heal. Your power lies not in competition, but in cooperation, not in taking, but in giving freely and joyously from your heart's infinite abundance. Know, my dear friend, that you are here purposefully, intentionally placed within this moment of existence to express uniquely the divine vibration that you are. There are no accidents in this universe, only divine synchronicities designed lovingly by universal intelligence to guide you back to yourself, to your sacred truth, to the divine vibration that animates your every breath. Feel now the incredible sacredness of simply being alive. Let your awareness become saturated with awe, reverence, and appreciation for the exquisite miracle of your existence. Honor the precious gift of your life by living vibrantly, fully, authentically. Allow yourself to dance joyously with the divine rhythm that moves gently through your soul. As you continue this sacred journey inward, your inner vibration harmonizes effortlessly with the vibration of creation itself. Boundaries fade, separation dissolves, and you awaken fully into the profound realization that you and the universe are one, vibrating harmoniously, eternally in perfect resonance. In the stillness of this realization, you discover the truest freedom, the freedom of knowing deeply and profoundly that everything you have ever sought outside yourself has always been waiting patiently within, whispering softly, guiding gently, vibrating eternally. God is not in some distant place. God is the eternal vibration of infinite love, forever alive within your beautiful divine heart. And within this sacred vibration that now permeates your every breath, your very being is quietly illuminated with the profound understanding of your infinite worth. You no longer need to grasp or cling, strive or strain, for you rest gently now in the tranquil knowingness that you are eternally complete, perfectly whole in your sacred essence. This profound realization brings ease to your soul and a tenderness to your heart, softly whispering that there is nothing left to prove, nothing left to earn, nothing left to become for you already are the divine presence you've been seeking. This divine resonance transforms how you perceive the world around you. Your vision expands from narrow limitations to expansive horizons of understanding and compassion. You begin to witness the exquisite interconnectedness of life, the sacred thread weaving through each encounter, each conversation, each seemingly mundane moment. Everything becomes illuminated with spiritual significance, a gentle reminder of your eternal bond with all of creation. Life's so-called obstacles now become loving invitations, guiding you deeper into trust, deeper into faith, deeper into alignment with your inner truth. You begin to see the beauty even within life's challenges, knowing each difficulty contains within it the precious seed of awakening, of healing, and spiritual expansion. You welcome every experience no longer resisting, but gently embracing each one as a beloved teacher, guiding you home to the divine vibration within. In this state of profound awareness, your heart grows ever softer, kinder, gentler. You recognize pain in another as your own. Their joy becomes your joy. Their sorrow becomes your sorrow. Compassion flows naturally and effortlessly from your awakened heart because you see clearly now that separation is merely an illusion, one created by fear, one transcended by love. You become a healer simply by existing. Your presence a comforting balm, your energy a nurturing embrace for those around you. Within this sacred alignment, forgiveness is effortless, judgment becomes irrelevant, and the heavy weight of resentment gently dissolves away. You hold no grievances, for you now perceive all experiences through the eyes of compassion and unconditional love. You recognize clearly the innocence in all beings, understanding deeply that every action, however misguided or painful, is born from a place of spiritual misunderstanding, fear, or suffering. Forgiveness, then, becomes as natural and essential as breathing itself, clearing your energy field, freeing your spirit, and amplifying your divine vibration. You begin to notice the subtle beauty in every moment, the gentle rustle of leaves, the graceful dance of sunlight, the softness of a friend's embrace, the warmth in a stranger's eyes. Gratitude pours forth effortlessly from your heart as you recognize the miracles hidden within the ordinary, the profound within the simple, the sacred within each moment. In this recognition, you live fully present, fully aware, fully aligned with the timeless vibration of universal love. As you embrace this consciousness more deeply, you realize that the divine is always guiding you, always supporting you, always present within you. No longer do you view life as random or chaotic, but as divinely orchestrated, purposeful, beautifully designed for your spiritual unfolding. You live in a constant state of trust, knowing deeply and profoundly that you are always exactly where you are meant to be, always guided lovingly, gently, and wisely by the infinite wisdom within. Now, as you journey forward, carry with you the gentle reminder that your spiritual growth is not a linear path, but a beautiful spiral, always deepening, always expanding. Honor each step, celebrate each moment, trust every detour, and unexpected twist for each one is divinely placed to guide you deeper into your truest, most authentic self. You are no longer a seeker, endlessly chasing elusive external truths. Instead, you have become a radiant beacon, illuminating the profound truth already vibrating beautifully within. Know that your life is a sacred offering, a gift back to the divine vibration that created you. With each breath, each thought, each loving gesture, you harmonize more fully with the universal song of love. Your presence itself becomes your greatest contribution as you radiate effortlessly the frequency of divine love and compassion out into the world, inspiring countless others to awaken to their own inner divine harmony. Hold gently within your awareness the truth that your life matters deeply, your presence is purposeful, and your journey is sacred. You have always been and will always be a divine expression of infinite intelligence, beautifully manifesting love in human form. Your existence is the very evidence of divine love incarnate. Feel the peace that arises now from living fully aligned with this sacred vibration. Feel the joy, the ease, the profound freedom of simply being your true self, open, authentic, loving, and deeply connected. Allow this vibration to guide you every day, every moment, in every breath you take, and witness how effortlessly life unfolds, how naturally miracles occur, how gracefully you dance with existence itself. In this eternal vibration of infinite love, you have found your truest sanctuary, your authentic home, your deepest self. You understand now, profoundly and completely, that God is not in a distant place or confined to one holy space. God is the timeless vibration that pulses through all life, resonates within every heart, and lives eternally and beautifully within you. You are home, you are safe, you are eternally loved, guided, and infinitely cherished. Rest peacefully, live vibrantly, and shine brightly, for you are and forever shall be a magnificent expression of divine vibration, gently humming, beautifully resonating, eternally alive within the boundless truth of infinite love. And so, dear soul, your heart now gently blooms in quiet understanding, opening completely to the beautiful truth that has always dwelled within. The divine song within you is your birthright, a melody softly playing through eternity, patiently awaiting the moment you surrender to its graceful rhythm. In this surrender, you step into boundless freedom, freedom from striving, from grasping, from needing to become anything other than what you inherently are. The infinite resonance of love vibrating within every cell of your sacred body. With every breath, you are intimately reminded of your sacred origin, your infinite belonging in the tapestry of existence. You breathe in not only oxygen, but wisdom, peace, compassion, and unconditional love. You exhale gratitude, kindness, gentleness, and healing. In this divine exchange of energy, you find true peace, true power, and true purpose. Every step forward now is infused with effortless grace because you understand deeply that life is not something to conquer or control. Life is a dance to be joyfully embraced, a journey to be lovingly experienced, a sacred tapestry to be gratefully woven. The threads of your experiences, both joyous and challenging, are intricately interwoven by divine hands, creating patterns of wisdom, compassion, and soulful beauty. You understand now that nothing is wasted. Every moment, every tear, every smile, every heartache, every joy is a sacred stitch in the divine tapestry of your soul. Feel the profound stillness settling within you, gently dissolving remaining shadows of doubt or fear. Allow yourself the exquisite peace of simply being. You have come home to the timeless sanctuary within, discovering the greatest treasure was never hidden or lost, but always patiently waiting for you to remember its existence. This treasure, your divine vibration, is your constant companion, your most trusted guide, your closest friend. As you embrace this truth, let your heart expand even wider. Offer unconditional love freely, generously, joyously, for the more you share this divine vibration, the more brightly it shines within you. Let your words be kind, your actions gentle, your thoughts compassionate. Recognize the divine vibration in every person you meet, knowing deeply they too carry within them the sacred frequency of love. By witnessing their divinity, you awaken it within them, creating ripples of healing that flow outward, touching lives beyond measure. In living this sacred truth, you become the embodiment of grace itself, radiating peace effortlessly inspiring others to awaken to their own infinite potential. You become a lighthouse, steadfastly illuminating the path back home to the heart, back home to divine oneness, back home to infinite love. And in the sacred quietude of your soul, you recognize deeply and profoundly that your true purpose has always been simply to love yourself, to love others, to love existence itself. This is the purpose that transcends circumstance, that outlasts achievement, that defines your very essence. Love is the sacred vibration you carry within. Love is your divine identity, your eternal truth, your infinite and unchanging nature. Now, resting in this gentle, eternal vibration, you fully comprehend the deepest truth of all. God is never distant. God is never separate. God is never absent. God is forever here right now, in the quiet depths of your heart, in the stillness between your breaths, in the sacred silence of your soul. God is eternally and beautifully the divine vibration humming gently, lovingly, infinitely within you. Welcome home, dear friend, to the timeless embrace of your own infinite divinity.
There is a stillness in you that cannot be disturbed, a place untouched by fear, unshaken by chaos, and immune to the noise of the world. It has no name, yet it knows everything. It has no shape, yet it holds the shape of your peace. It is not your mind, for your mind is loud. It is not your emotions, for your emotions are waves. It is not your body, for the body withers and bends to time. It is the part of you that watches quietly, lovingly, unmoved. And in that watching, there is power. We spend most of our lives reacting to what was said, to what wasn't said, to the look someone gave, to the news flashing across our screens, to the stories we carry like old, worn clothes, too heavy to wear, but too familiar to take off. We live at the mercy of our interpretations, our wounds, our replays of the past, and projections of the future. We live, but we do not watch. We act, but we do not see. To watch is not to detach from life, it is to arrive fully in it. It is to stop being dragged by the stream of every emotion and every judgment. It is to sit at the edge of the river and say, there it is again, the fear, the anger, the memory, the story, and then let it flow. The ego is a brilliant but frantic storyteller. It cannot live in the present moment because the present moment exposes its illusions. It thrives on reaction because it feeds on control. The ego needs your agreement. It needs your reactivity to survive. But your soul does not need to prove itself. It simply is. It observes without trying to fix. It accepts without needing to justify. It loves without asking to be loved back. Being the watcher is not an escape, it is the return. When you become the watcher, you are no longer the puppet of your past. You are no longer the hostage of your triggers. You begin to see that the anger is not you, it is an energy that passes through. The grief is not you, it is a wave that visits, not a house you must live in. The fear is not you, it is a voice, not your truth. There is a sacred gap between stimulus and response. And in that gap is where you reclaim your life. That gap is where the watcher lives. You are not your reactions. You are the awareness beneath them. You are not your thoughts. You are the spaciousness that notices them arise and fall. You are not the chaos. You are the calm watching the chaos. And when you remember this, you become free. Freedom doesn't come when the world is silent. It comes when you can hear the noise and choose not to be it. It comes when you can feel the heat of anger and not throw it. When you can taste the sting of offense and not become offended. When you can sit in the storm of opinion and not get swept away by any of it. There is no greater strength than presence. To be present is to live beyond reaction. It is to let go of the idea that everything demands your emotional involvement. It is to allow people to be who they are without needing to correct them. It is to hear a criticism and not make it your identity. It is to receive praise and not build your worth upon it. Presence is not passive. It is alert, grounded, alive. The watcher is not distant. The watcher is compassionate. It sees clearly because it does not cling. It understands deeply because it listens without defense. It acts with power because it does not act from fear. You see, when you become the watcher, life softens. Not because life changes, but because you do. The same situations arise, but they no longer own you. The same people trigger the same old patterns, but now you recognize them as patterns, not as truth. You stop bleeding into every moment. You stop needing everything to validate your sense of self. You return to your inner sanctuary, the place where your soul sits with open hands and a quiet smile, knowing that all things are passing clouds. You cannot stop the world from shouting, but you can stop yourself from echoing it. Buddha once said, "You will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger." And how often we let our own reactivity become the very suffering we try to avoid. We mistake reaction for power, but reaction is bondage. Reaction is the ego's way of staying alive. True power is in the pause. True power is in the breath that says, "I see you, emotion, but I do not belong to you." The watcher doesn't suppress, it doesn't deny, it simply sees, and in seeing, it liberates. Watch yourself when you're offended. Who is it that feels so injured? Is it your soul, or is it an identity you've built, now threatened by someone else's opinion? Watch your defensiveness. Who is it defending? The truth needs no defense. The ego, however, is always on guard. Watch your craving for validation. Who is it that wants to be seen? The infinite spirit within you is already seen. It is seen by the entire universe. There is nothing you need to prove. Nothing you need to fix to be enough. Nothing you need to hold on to be safe. The watcher knows this. The reactor forgets. Let your breath be your teacher. When it quickens, when it shortens, when it tightens, that is the moment to return. That is the moment to step out of the role and back into the witness. Each inhale is a choice. Each exhale is a letting go. The more you breathe consciously, the more you become aware. And awareness is the birthplace of all transformation. When you are the watcher, you stop needing life to behave the way you want it to. You stop arguing with reality. You stop insisting that people be different to make you happy. You stop controlling what was never yours to control. And in this surrender, you find peace not as an achievement, but as your original nature. Peace is not something you chase. Peace is what remains when you stop reacting. So many of us live on the edge of offense. We're ready to be hurt, ready to be insulted, ready to be outraged. We've trained ourselves to scan for threat, not physical threat, but psychological threat. Someone disagrees with us and we feel erased. Someone rejects us and we feel unworthy. But what if none of it was personal? What if every offense is an invitation to awaken? You are not what others say to you. You are what you choose to hear. Let people misunderstand you. Let them mislabel you. Let them walk away if they must. The watcher does not flinch. The watcher knows that the truth doesn't need to chase anything. The truth just is. And if someone cannot see you, that does not make you invisible. If someone rejects you, that does not make you invalid. You are not here to be understood. You are here to understand. The moment you stop needing to react, you begin to live. You begin to notice the small joys, the way the sunlight touches the leaves, the pause between two heartbeats, the sacred silence after a deep breath. These are the spaces where the divine speaks, but you must be still enough to hear. And stillness does not mean inactivity. Stillness is presence. It is clarity. It is the quiet power of a soul unbothered by the noise. You have nothing to defend, no argument to win, no ego to preserve. You have only the opportunity in every moment to return to the watcher within. So next time you feel the rise of reaction, pause, breathe, watch. You are not the storm. You are the sky. The sky does not tremble when clouds pass through it. It does not cling to the rain or resist the lightning. It allows, it witnesses, it remains, and so must you. Your true self, the eternal witness, has never been broken, never been threatened, never been less than whole. It is only the ego that flinches, that crumbles, that begs for validation in the eyes of others. The soul simply watches and waits, knowing the truth is never in the noise. Every time you choose to observe rather than react, you are retraining your consciousness. You are shifting the gravity of your identity from the external to the internal, from fear to love, from protection to presence. You become like the ocean, watching its own waves rise and fall, but never mistaking the waves for its essence. The turbulence no longer defines you. The stillness beneath becomes your home. There is a moment, brief but sacred, when awareness interrupts a habit. That moment is a portal to liberation. A chance to say, I see it, I've been here before, but this time I choose differently. And in that subtle shift, your entire life begins to change. Not because the world softens, but because you no longer harden in its presence. You stop armoring up every time someone looks at you the wrong way. You stop bracing for judgment. You begin to live unclenched, wide open, deeply rooted, and profoundly present. And isn't that what true power is? To be unshakable, not because you dominate, but because you no longer need to defend. To be calm in the midst of fire. To be kind without condition. To be aware of the storm and yet centered in your stillness. This is the life of the awakened. Not free of conflict, but free of entanglement. Not void of feeling, but void of control by those feelings. When you stop reacting, you begin seeing. You see the other person not as an enemy, but as a mirror. You see your anger not as a truth, but as a message. You see your triggers as teachers. You see life not as a series of attacks, but as a series of invitations to evolve. You begin to understand that everything that once made you flinch is here to make you free. The reactive self is a prisoner of the past. It is stitched together by old wounds, unconscious stories, and inherited beliefs. It's constantly trying to protect something, a fragile image, a constructed identity, a false sense of self. But the watcher knows there is nothing to protect because the soul is not a character. The soul cannot be injured by opinion, it cannot be destroyed by loss, it cannot be undone by time. You are not your conditioning, you are not your defense mechanisms, you are not the fight or flight impulse that flares up when things don't go your way. You are the one who sees it all. And in seeing it all, you are no longer owned by any of it. Have you ever felt the weight of a reaction coming, the anger bubbling, the heart racing, the story forming, and then you paused, you breathed, you watched, and just like that, the charge softened. That is presence. That is awakening. That is what it means to remember yourself in the heat of forgetting. It's not about never feeling triggered. It's about no longer being tricked into believing those triggers define you. It's not about being a stone cold and unfeeling. It's about being a mountain still and grounded, even as the winds howl around you. You see, the more you watch without reacting, the more you begin to trust life again. You realize that not every comment needs a comeback. Not every situation demands your opinion. Not every disagreement is a battlefield. You stop entering every interaction with armor. You stop needing the last word. You begin to understand that silence can be the loudest answer. That stillness can be the most powerful presence. And in that space, that holy space between what happened and how you choose to respond, a miracle occurs. The miracle of self-possession, of divine clarity, of peace that cannot be disturbed by anything outside of you. You no longer live from habit, you live from intention. You begin to meet life with eyes open, heart soft, and soul steady. The reactive mind is always chasing approval, chasing control, chasing an identity it can hold on to. But the watcher knows there is nothing to chase when you already are. You are not here to be everything to everyone. You are here to be fully awake in yourself, to be so deeply rooted in your presence that even if the world misreads you, misunderstands you, misjudges you, you stay true. Truth needs no audience. Presence needs no applause. The divine in you needs no permission. And so I invite you, not tomorrow, not someday, but in this very moment, to pause. Let the breath remind you of the eternal now. Let the silence return you to the sacred watcher. Let the witness within you rise. And from that space, observe. Observe your thoughts without clinging. Observe your emotions without dramatizing. Observe your life without rushing to fix, correct, or judge. This is not the end of your spiritual path. This is the beginning. Because when you become the watcher, everything changes. Not by force, but by frequency. You stop vibrating at the level of the problem and begin rising into the solution. You stop looking for healing in others and start embodying it within yourself. You stop playing the role of the victim or the hero and simply become real. And in your realness, your grounded, divine, conscious presence, you begin to heal not just yourself, but everyone you touch. Not through preaching, not through trying, but simply through being. Being the space, being the peace, being the clarity in a world addicted to confusion. You are not here to be tossed around by life. You are here to be the still point, the silent flame, the breath between the chaos. And you'll know when you found this place, not because life gets easier, but because you stop collapsing in front of it. Your center becomes unshakable. Your peace becomes non-negotiable. Your love becomes unconditional. And from this space, my friend, everything becomes possible. And from this space, my friend, everything becomes possible. When you no longer live at the mercy of your reactions, you step into the rarest kind of power, the power of inner authority. Not dominance, not superiority, but sovereignty of the soul. You're no longer pulled by every emotional wind, no longer yanked into battles that aren't yours. You become a space of presence that others can feel but cannot disturb. You begin to hear the world, not just through your ears, but through your spirit. Someone may yell, and you hear their pain. Someone may judge, and you hear their fear. Someone may try to provoke, and you sense their longing for love. The watcher sees this, not to become better than anyone, but to remember none of it is about you. And what a relief that is. What a deep, cleansing sigh for the soul to know you are not responsible for the storms in other people's skies. You are only responsible for whether you bring your umbrella or your sunshine, whether you enter their storm or remain the calm that invites them into clarity. To live as the watcher is not to become indifferent, it's to become deeply compassionate without losing yourself. Compassion doesn't require you to abandon your peace. In fact, real compassion flows from peace. When you react, you join others in their suffering. But when you watch, you become the mirror that reflects something higher. You say without words, you don't have to live like that. There's another way. And when you live this way, something extraordinary happens. You begin to radiate peace. Not the kind that looks peaceful on the outside, but simmers with resentment underneath. Not the kind that avoids conflict by shrinking. No, this is the peace that walks into any room and changes its atmosphere. The peace that speaks without words. The peace that silences chaos just by being. Because when you are no longer at war with yourself, the world cannot drag you into battle. You stop arguing with reality. You stop trying to edit the universe to match your preferences. You stop needing the moment to be anything other than what it is. And in that surrender, you don't become passive, you become present. You take action, not from desperation, but from alignment. You speak, not to defend, but to express love. You listen not to prepare your reply, but to understand with your whole being. This is how the soul moves. Gently, powerfully, without rush, and oh, how the world needs more of this. More beings who don't crumble at conflict, who don't lose themselves trying to win approval, who aren't addicted to proving they're right. The world is loud with reactions. Be the one who is quiet with understanding. Be the one who slows down when others speed up. Be the one who chooses grace when the ego demands retaliation. There is a river inside you that has never stopped flowing. Even when you were tangled in your thoughts, even when you believed the voice of fear, even when you reacted with anger, shame, or pride, that river was always there, steady, ancient, divine. It is your true nature. The watcher lives there. The soul drinks from it. And your freedom begins the moment you return to its banks. So when you feel yourself being pulled into the story, the fight, the trigger, the need to explain, the craving to be seen, pause. Let the breath return you. Let your awareness remind you. Let the watcher reclaim the moment, because life isn't about avoiding the waves, it's about learning to surf them with awareness. It's about realizing that no matter what chaos dances across the surface, the depths of who you are remain unmoved. That is your home. That is your truth. That is the part of you that has never been hurt, never been lost, never been less than divine. And when you live from that place, when your identity is rooted not in ego but in soul, then your presence becomes medicine. You don't have to fix everyone. You don't have to save the world. You don't even have to change anyone's mind. Just be what you are when you're not reacting. Light, calm, truth, stillness. That is enough. More than enough. That is the invitation you offer the world. Come sit with me in this silence and remember who you are. And if they do, beautiful. And if they don't, you continue walking, not in pride, not in bitterness, but in peace, because the watcher walks with grace. And grace, my friend, is the only power that doesn't need to shout. The watcher walks with grace, not because it is immune to pain, but because it no longer mistakes pain for identity. It has learned the sacred art of presence, not as a performance, but as a remembrance. To watch is to love without possession, to listen without preparing to speak, to live without the weight of needing everything to be different in order to be okay. And when you live like this, when you truly become the watcher, the need to be understood falls away. You no longer plead with the world to see you, to validate you, to applaud your efforts. You know that to be seen by the divine within you is more than enough. You feel the presence of the infinite, not as something to chase, but as something that never left. Something that was always whispering beneath your reaction. You are not this storm. You are the sky. It passes through. And in this realization, you soften. You stop bracing for impact. You stop rehearsing pain. You stop living from the haunted echoes of what if and what was. You rest not in exhaustion, but in awakening. You stop trying to control what's never been yours, and instead surrender to the stillness that has always been home. You forgive yourself for every time you believe the lie that you were only as worthy as your performance, only as loved as your usefulness, only as safe as your defenses. You forgive yourself for the times you reacted, for the times you fell into fear, for the times you said what your soul never meant, not because it was right, but because you are ready to be free. Forgiveness, too, is an act of watching, of saying, yes, I see the wound, but I also see who I truly am beyond it. And then something quiet but life-altering begins to happen. You stop waiting for permission to be at peace. You stop postponing joy until circumstances align. You stop bargaining with life. If this happens, then I'll feel whole. No. Wholeness is now, peace is now, God is now. Everything you've been chasing while reacting was always sitting silently in the sanctuary of your awareness. The watcher knows that time is not the answer, presence is. You don't need another year to become what your soul already is. You don't need more proof, more agreement, more applause. You need only this breath, this stillness, this radical return to the center that has never abandoned you. And this is not a theory, this is an embodiment. When you embody the watcher, your life becomes less about performance and more about presence. You start speaking less and saying more. You start needing less and feeling fuller. You begin walking through the world with a softness that doesn't ask, "Do you accept me?" but instead radiates, "I accept myself." And because you accept yourself, others feel safe to do the same in your presence. Your being becomes a sanctuary, your silence becomes sacred. You no longer react to prove your worth, you respond from the overflow of your awareness. That's how the divine speaks. Not to convince, but to awaken. Not to correct, but to reflect. You begin to realize that every trigger was a teacher, and every interruption was an initiation. That the very moments which once made you spiral were not obstacles, they were sacred doorways. Doorways leading you deeper into the witness, deeper into grace, deeper into the stillness that does not flinch, does not fight, and does not fear. And now, you are ready. Not ready to achieve something, not ready to prove anything, but ready to finally live, not from the ego's urgency, but from the soul's timelessness. Ready to meet the day, not as a battle, but as a blessing. Ready to hold space instead of hold grudges. Ready to watch your thoughts pass like clouds and realize you are the sky. You always were. The world may still swirl, people may still project, but you now walk as the calm inside the center of it all. And when old reactions try to rise, because they will, you'll meet them with compassion, not condemnation. You'll greet them like old friends with fading power, saying gently, "I see you, but I no longer serve you." And in that moment, you will smile, not because life is perfect, but because you have remembered who you are. You are not the fear. You are not the noise. You are not the ego's constant commentary. You are the one who watches all of it and chooses love anyway. So breathe, beloved soul. Breathe and return to this sacred moment, to this steady presence, to this watcher that does not need to win, but only needs to witness. Let others shout. Let the world race. Let the noise unfold. You just keep watching. Just keep loving, because when you are the watcher, not the reactor, you do not just change your life. You remember that you are life. And life, in its truest form, does not react. It flows. It trusts, it shines, and so do you.